The story of Runeterra begins, much like the first breeze at the opening of an old fairy tale. When you close your eyes, you suddenly feel a cloud of dust floating over a distant continent. Perhaps the warm breath of Shurima's deserts, perhaps the cold wind rising from the ice-covered valleys of Freljord, or perhaps the uneasy melody spilling from Ionia's forests, whispering with spirits. This world has witnessed wars for centuries, grown in the shadow of peace, and then surrendered once again to flames, a place where gods walked and humans left their marks in the heavens. But this is not an ordinary universe. This is a place where magic is both a gift and a curse. And this story begins exactly within this duality. Understanding Runeterra is not just knowing the kingdoms, the wars, or the champions. This world is like a living, breathing organism, shaped by the energies that flow through its veins. Each region is like a spirit carrying its own destiny. Some carry the hope of light, some grow in the embrace of darkness. Some have remained hidden as a secret for centuries, while others have been forced by fate to reveal their deepest truths. And connecting all these regions is an invisible thread: magic. Magic in Runeterra is a law of nature. Just like the flow of water or the transformation of night into day, it is a natural reality. Yet this magic is not felt the same everywhere. In some places, it appears as an innocent light at the fingertips of a child. In others, as a fire powerful enough to drive an emperor mad with jealousy. And sometimes, in the dark screams of the void, it becomes the beginning of unimaginable destruction. The story of Runeterra is shaped precisely by the effects of this energy on humans, creatures, and far older beings. But let us tell this story from the very beginning, from that first moment when darkness and light touched each other, slowly and deliberately. Because to truly understand Runeterra, we must treat the story of this world as a fairy tale, feeling every twist and turn along the way. Long ago, before even the first inhabitants of Runeterra existed, when the world was still young and shapeless, great powers roamed among the stars. These beings were supreme even over the cosmic workers. Among them was a dragon named Aurelian Sol, who birthed the stars themselves, adorning the universe with new light. The skies that gleamed with his breath were the heralds of an era that would determine Runeterra's fate. Yet even a being like Aurelian Sol could not resist the ambition of mortals climbing Targon's peak and their godlike power. His will, which shaped the stars, was forced to serve the divine order created by Targon. Thus began the era when gods interfered in the destinies of humans. Gradually, the world began to come alive. The first civilizations were established, the first wars fought, the first heroic tales told. Ancient empires rose among the sands of Shurima. Epic battles erupted in the ice-covered valleys of Freljord, with tribes falling upon one another. Ionia, a paradise where spirits and humans coexisted, later became the target of invasions that would open the gates of hell. Demacia emerged as a symbol of light and order, while Noxus became the emblem of power and will. And amidst all this, the delicate connection between Zaun and Piltover resembled a thin line between the light of science and the darkness of madness. Yet, shaping Runeterra's fate was not only the conflicts of these regions but also the dark breath of the void. The void was an emptiness from beyond the universe, formless and consuming. It devoured existence, turning everything it touched into itself, an infinite void. Icathia was the first land to encounter this darkness, and the result was complete catastrophe. The wounds opened by the void remain as unhealed scars on Runeterra's body. Of course, there were powers that offered hope as much as this darkness did. Warriors ascending Targon's peak united with divine powers to embody the will of the stars. Ionia's spiritual energy created a magical balance where spirits and humans danced together. The ancient chill of Freljord's ice bestowed divine strength upon its warriors. And even the endless rivalry between Demacia and Noxus became parts of a grand history driving the world toward a stronger future. But now, let us touch upon another truth behind the vast and complex formation of this world. The story of Runeterra is not only about giants, gods, dragons, or heroes. This world is the sum of the small battles ordinary people fight with fate. Sometimes a story begins in a village where a child tries to hide the magic within. Sometimes it takes shape through the effort of an ambitious inventor to correct his father's mistakes. Sometimes it starts with the jealousy of a king who loves the statue of his beloved more than life itself. Sometimes a step taken by a sibling to save another turns into a catastrophe that affects the fate of the entire world. This is the spirit of Runeterra, small stories merging into a vast world. Therefore, as a traveler stepping into Runeterra, you must first look at it through a wide window. Behind this window, light and shadow exist simultaneously. Because no place is purely good or purely evil, everything gains meaning through the intentions and choices it carries. Looking at Demacia, you see order, honor, and light, but you also witness those crushed under the shadow of rigid rules. Looking at Noxus, you see a world full of power and opportunity, but you also recognize the cost of the ruthless ambition behind that power. Walking through Ionia's serene forests, you hear the whispers of nature, yet beneath them may lie traces of wars from long ago. Amid Freljord's glaciers, the cries of tribal battles echo, and behind these battles may even hide a forgotten love story. Every region carries a multi-layered epic within itself. This is what makes Runeterra beautiful. It is not merely a world. Beneath every stone is a secret. Behind every shadow is a story. Thus, when you step into Runeterra, you feel as if a storyteller awaits at every corner of the world. In Shurima, beneath the shadow of Azir's palace rising from the sands, an old bard whispers the Emperor's ascension. In Freljord, by a fire, a hunter tells the lies of Lysandra and the truth of a millennium-long war. In Ionia, a priest lets you hear how the spirits sing. In Piltover, an inventor shares how the light within Hextech crystals sparked an era. In the dark streets of Zaun, a child's eyes recount the tragedy of lost lives behind chemical mists. On the Shadow Isles, even the earth seems to tell a living tale. Every whisper is made of the cries of lost souls. And all these pieces form the chapters of the grand epic that unites Runeterra. No matter which door you enter, you find yourself immersed in a vast sea of stories. Runeterra is so vast and ancient that humans are still unraveling its secrets. Perhaps a new danger awaits in a place unknown to anyone. Perhaps the void will awaken again. Perhaps Targon will raise a new star god. Perhaps a secret hidden behind Demacia's walls will alter the kingdom's destiny. Perhaps Noxus generals carry seeds of a civil war even they are unaware of. Perhaps the fate of Freljord is hidden in the endless conflict of three sisters. All these possibilities reveal the vitality and depth of this world. In Runeterra, nothing is certain. Every choice, every step, every glimmer of power can start a story or end a legend. And that is why, as you enter this universe, all you need to bring is curiosity. Because Runeterra always opens a new door for those who seek. And behind every door, a new tale awaits.